Today we have an interesting Vocaloid, pretty cure. What if in our hands? What if Kagamine Rin became cure peace? Watch till the end to find out the difference between the two. Let's start at the beginning the episode where Kagamine Rin would become cure peace episode 3. If Kagamine Rin replaced Ye Kai's as cure peace in episode 3 of Smile Pretty Cure. Jan Kenpon, the birth of cure peace. The episode would change quite a bit. Rin has a much more energetic, competitive, and stubborn personality than Ye. So while the story's basic structure would remain, the emotional journey would be very different. Before the transformation, instead of meeting the shy, nervous Ye, Miyuki and Akin would meet Rin, who is loud and cheerful, competitive, especially if challenged, quick to act before thinking, confident on the surface, but secretly dislikes letting others down. Rather than quietly drawing manga or avoiding attention, Rin might be helping organize a school activity, racing classmates, or enthusiastically joining a game. Akin would probably get along with her almost immediately because both enjoy energetic competition. Miyuki would think, "She's so full of energy." Akyani's attack. In the original episode, Akyani exploits Ye's insecurity and fear. With Rin, that strategy wouldn't work. Instead, Akyani would exploit frustration and pride. For example, Rin loses a competition. Someone says she isn't as talented as she thinks. Rin becomes angry with herself for not being good enough. The bad end energy would come from her determination, turning into self-criticism. Instead of crying, Rin might shout, "I'm not giving up," before beginning to lose hope. The Smile Pact appears. The Smile Pact would still respond to Rin's desire to protect others. When Akyani threatens innocent people, Rin wouldn't hesitate. She'd likely yell, "Get away from them," before the cure Daker appears. Unlike Ye, she wouldn't spend several minutes frightened by the transformation. She'd accept it almost instantly. Transformation. Her cure peace transformation would feel much more confident. Instead of quietly wondering what is happening. "Whoa, this is awesome." She'd pose dramatically before charging into battle. Her fighting style would immediately reflect Rin's personality. First fight. This is where things change the most. Original cure peace. Hesitates. Panics. Learns courage. Rin's cure peace. Rushes the Akan immediately. Throws punches first. Learns that courage also requires strategy. She would probably underestimate the monster. Akin might shout, "Don't just run in." Miyuki. Rin, wait. Naturally, Rin ignores them. She gets knocked backward because she attacked recklessly. Discovering thunder powers. After realizing brute force isn't enough, Rin calms down. Then she'd discover her lightning powers. Instead of accidentally firing lightning, she would intentionally test them. Let's see what this can do. Peace Thunder would likely appear much earlier in the fight. Because Rin is naturally athletic, she'd adapt to lightning attacks surprisingly quickly. Team dynamic. The trio becomes much more energetic. Miyuki acts as the emotional center, keeps Rin from charging ahead recklessly. Akin finds someone who enjoys competition as much as she does. They become friendly rivals almost immediately. Expect conversations like, "Akin, bet I can hit harder." "Rin, you're on." Rin provides offensive energy. She's fearless. Sometimes too fearless. Character lesson. Instead of learning, even scared people can become heroes. Rin's lesson becomes, being brave doesn't mean rushing in alone. She learns teamwork. That fits Smile Pretty Cure's overall themes very well. End of the episode. The ending would likely have Rin enthusiastically accepting the role of Pretty Cure. Instead of nervously wondering if she's worthy, she'd grin and say, "If monsters are showing up, Then let's beat every last one. Akin would laugh. Miyuki would smile. Candy would be relieved to have another cure on the team. Overall impact. Episode 3 becomes less about overcoming fear and more about balancing confidence with cooperation. The core plot, Akyani's attack, Rin awakening as Cure Peace, and the team gaining a new member, would stay intact, but the emotional tone would shift from heartfelt and timid to fast-paced and action-oriented. Rin would establish herself as a bold frontline fighter from the very beginning, giving the early Smile team a more aggressive dynamic while still leaving room for her to grow by learning patience and trust in her teammates. Now let's explore the team dynamic when the team is at full. With Kagamine Rin as Cure Peace, the arrival of now Midorikawa, Cure March, and Ryuka Aoki, Cure Beauty, would create a noticeably different team dynamic. Rin's outgoing, competitive personality would fill the role that Ye's gentle kindness originally occupied, making the group more energetic and occasionally more chaotic. When Now joins Episode 4, Now and Rin would become fast friends. Both are athletic, proactive, and willing to jump into danger to protect others. Rather than Miyuki being the only one encouraging Now, Rin would already be fighting beside her without hesitation. During Now's first battle, Rin would likely shout, "Come on, you've got this. Let's take this thing down together." Now would appreciate Rin's confidence, though she'd quickly notice Rin has a habit of charging in before thinking. Friendly rivalry. Now enjoys sports, and Rin loves competition, so they'd constantly challenge each other. Examples include racing to school, seeing who can defeat more Akanb, competing in dodgeball or relay races, playfully arguing over who landed the finishing blow. Unlike Akin, whose rivalry with Rin would center on raw strength, Now's would revolve around speed and athleticism. Now, bet I can outrun you. Rin, you're buying lunch when I win. The competitions would never become hostile. They'd simply motivate each other. Akin's reaction. Akin would love having another competitive teammate, but she'd jokingly complain that she's now surrounded by rivals. You'd often see exchanges like, "Akin, can you two stop turning everything into a contest?" Rin, "Only if you admit I'd win." Now, "Dream on." The three of them would become the team's energetic frontline. When Ryuka joins Episode 5, this is where the biggest personality contrast appears. Ryuka is calm, disciplined, and analytical. Rin is impulsive and emotional. At first, they would occasionally clash, not because they dislike each other, but because they solve problems differently. Example: Ryuka, "We should observe the monster before attacking." Rin, "Or we hit it now." Ryuka, "That is rarely the optimal strategy." Rin, "It usually works." Miyuki would end up mediating these discussions with a smile. Ryuka becomes Rin's counterbalance. Over time, Ryuka would naturally become the person who reins Rin in. Whenever Rin rushes ahead. Ryuka, patience. Whenever Rin gets frustrated. Ryuka, think before acting. Instead of taking offense, Rin would gradually come to respect Ryuka's judgment after seeing how often her plans succeed. Lightning meets ice. Their powers would also complement each other well. Rin's lightning is explosive and unpredictable. Ryuka's ice is controlled and precise. Together, they could trap an Akan with ice before Rin unleashes a lightning attack, creating effective combination strategies. Miyuki's role changes. In the original series, Miyuki often encouraged the shy Ye. With Rin, she doesn't need to build someone's confidence. Instead, she focuses on keeping the group's stronger personalities working together. She becomes the emotional glue holding together. Rin's enthusiasm. Akin's fiery spirit. Now's determination. Ryuka's composure. Candy's perspective. Candy would probably find Rin exhausting at first. She'd constantly be saying, "Rin, don't run ahead, Kuru Tilda." Eventually, she'd accept that Rin always means well and can usually be counted on to protect everyone. The result is a team that's louder, more competitive, and quicker to jump into action. Rather than balancing around Ye's quiet sensitivity, the group's balance shifts toward managing the enthusiasm of Rin, Akin, and Now, with Miyuki providing emotional encouragement and Rieka offering calm strategy. This would lead to faster-paced battles and plenty of humorous interactions, while still preserving the close-knit friendship that defines Smile Pretty Cure. Now let's find out if she could master the lightning abilities of Cure Peace. Absolutely. In fact, Kagamine Rin has the personality traits that could allow her to surpass the original Cure Peace in mastering lightning-based combat, though she'd also develop some weaknesses of her own. The original Yaekai's was naturally cautious and gentle. Her lightning powers reflected that, immensely powerful but initially difficult for her to control because she lacked confidence. As she matured, she learned to use them with greater precision and bravery. Rin would take almost the opposite path. Early stage, rapid growth. Because Rin is bold and eager to experiment, she'd start pushing her lightning powers almost immediately. Instead of using Peace Thunder only when absolutely necessary, she'd constantly practice, adjusting the strength of her lightning, learning how quickly she could fire, discovering new ways to combine electricity with martial arts, seeing if lightning could enhance her speed or jumping ability. She would probably say something like, "If I can shoot one bolt, why not 3? This willingness to experiment would let her unlock techniques much sooner than Ye. Better combat instincts. Rin is considerably more athletic than Ye. That means she'd naturally combine movement with her electricity. For example, firing lightning while dodging, jumping into the air before launching attacks, using quick feints to create openings, keeping pressure on enemies instead of standing still. Instead of being a long-range specialist, Rin's Cure Peace would become a mobile lightning fighter. Creative uses of electricity. Since Rin enjoys trying new things, she'd likely invent applications that the original Cure Peace never explored. Examples include lightning dash. A brief burst of electricity propels her forward at high speed. Thunder step. She channels electricity into her legs for higher jumps and quicker reactions. Chain lightning. Instead of one large bolt, Rin fires several smaller arcs that can strike multiple enemies. Electric counter. When an enemy attacks, she redirects lightning through their weapon or body to interrupt them. These techniques fit Rin's energetic fighting style much better than simply relying on one powerful finishing move. Working with Rieka. Rieka's calm, analytical nature would help Rin refine her abilities. A conversation might go like this. "Rin, I made the lightning even bigger." Rieka, "That is impressive, but your accuracy dropped." Rin, "A good point." Over time, Rieka would encourage Rin to focus on precision as well as power. Team combination attacks. Rin would probably develop more combination techniques than Ye did. With Akin Cure Sunny, fire superheats the air, making lightning strikes even more explosive. With Now Cure March, March's wind could steer or accelerate Rin's lightning, allowing it to curve toward targets. With Rieka Cure Beauty, Beauty freezes an enemy in place, creating the perfect opportunity for Rin to unleash a precise electrical strike. With Miyuki Cure Happy, Happy distracts and supports, while Rin delivers the decisive electrical attack. Her biggest weakness. Rin's greatest obstacle wouldn't be fear, it would be overconfidence. She'd often think, "I've got this," only to discover she's using too much energy or exposing herself by attacking recklessly. Her character arc would be about learning that raw power isn't everything. Rieka, Miyuki, and the rest of the team would help her realize that timing, teamwork, and restraint are just as important. Could she become a better cure piece? In terms of pure mastery of lightning powers, I'd say yes. Overall, Rin would likely become a more versatile and aggressive lightning user than the original cure piece. Ye's greatest strengths were compassion, precision, and steady growth, while Rin's would be innovation, mobility, and relentless offense. By the end of the series, especially after learning to temper her impulsiveness, Rin could realistically be considered one of the strongest lightning-based pretty cures in terms of combat effectiveness. Now let's find out the ending changes, before the final battle. As Pierrot's resurrection nears, the team begins to feel the pressure. In the original series, Ye quietly worries about whether everyone can win. Rin reacts differently. She becomes restless and trains harder than anyone else. You'd often find her practicing her lightning attacks after school, determined to get stronger. Akin might tease her. "You'll wear yourself out before the fight even starts." Rin would grin. "Then I'll just have to get even stronger." Rieka, however, notices Rin is pushing herself too far and reminds her that strength also comes from trusting the team. Joker's psychological attack. One of Joker's strengths is exploiting his opponent's weaknesses. With Ye, fear and self-doubt were obvious targets. With Rin, Joker would instead prey on her pride and frustration. He might say, "You think you're the strongest, then protect everyone, if you can." As allies are overwhelmed, Rin would blame herself. "If I'd been faster, if my lightning were stronger." Instead of becoming frightened, she becomes angry at herself for not doing enough. This creates a different emotional hurdle, learning that no one cure can carry the burden alone. Fighting Pierrot. During the battle against Pierrot, Rin would be one of the first to charge. Miyuki would call after her. "Rin, wait. Rin. We can't let him attack first." Predictably, Pierrot's overwhelming power would force her back, showing that even immense determination has limits. Rather than giving up, Rin would realize she needs to synchronize with the others instead of trying to win through sheer force. Lightning at its peak. By the final battle, Rin's mastery of Cure Piece's powers would likely surpass what Ye demonstrated in the original series. She could introduce evolved techniques such as Peace Thunder Storm, multiple lightning bolts raining over a wide area. Thunder Drive, electrically enhanced movement for incredible bursts of speed. Lightning Shield, a defensive barrier of crackling electricity that protects teammates. Chain Thunder, electricity that leaps between multiple enemies. These aren't replacements for the team's finishing attack, but they make Rin a more versatile combatant. Teamwork takes center stage. One of Rin's biggest lessons throughout the series would come to fruition here. Earlier in the season, she often rushed into battle alone. Now, she'd deliberately coordinate with everyone. For example, now traps enemies with powerful gusts of wind. Rieka freezes their escape routes. Akin drives them back with flames. Rin channels lightning through the opening. Miyuki delivers the decisive attack. The team would remark on how much Rin has changed. Akin might smile and say, "Look who's finally waiting for the rest of us." Rin laughs. "Don't get used to it." Miyuki's speech. Miyuki's message about choosing hope over despair remains the emotional heart of the finale. Rin reinforces it in her own way. Instead of speaking softly, she'd declare, "Hope isn't just something you believe in, it's something you fight for." That complements Miyuki's optimism with Rin's determination. The final miracle. When the miracle jewel and the cure's feelings combine, Rin's growth becomes especially meaningful. Rather than becoming stronger because she stopped being afraid, as Ye did, Rin becomes stronger because she has learned to rely on others. It's a different, but equally fitting character arc. After the battle, once Pierrot is defeated and peace returns, Rin would probably be the first to break the emotional silence. She'd stretch, smile, and say, "So, who's up for a victory race home?" Akin would immediately accept. now would join without hesitation. Miyuki would laugh and chase after them. Ryuka would sigh with a small smile before following. Candy would call after them. "Wait for me, Kuru Tilda." The ending would feel a little livelier than the original, reflecting Rin's energetic influence on the group. Overall impact on the ending. Rin doesn't fundamentally change Smile Pretty Cure's message of hope overcoming despair, but she changes how that message is expressed. Original Yay/Cure Peace. Her journey is about finding courage despite fear, proving that even someone timid can become a hero. Rin as Cure Peace. Her journey is about learning that courage also means trusting others and not trying to shoulder every battle alone. By the finale, Rin would likely be a more aggressive and technically skilled lightning fighter than the original Cure Peace, but her greatest victory wouldn't be stronger attacks. It would be realizing that the pretty cures are strongest when they fight together rather than as individuals. That lesson would make her a more complete hero and fit naturally with the series' central themes of friendship, hope, and teamwork. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and like. Bye, guys.